For the Baltimore Ravens tonight, give it up for CJ and Luke Jones. A few here. Once
more stuff.
Exactly. All right, I'll administer it. I want to ask you about this because you're talking about the defense getting better, CJ, and making the plays and all the things. You go back on a Monday and you see what went wrong against the Steelers, what went wrong against Jacksonville. In many cases for me, earlier in the year, and I'm out on Twitter during the game, tackling, missing the first tackle or an angle that's bad or just not wrapping a guy up earlier in the year. I know you're not from another era, so it's probably not even an appropriate question to ask you because they don't have you out there with 2-days and this and that and practicing with pads and, going full tilt and practice. That's yesterday. But I do think there's part of that how much do you tackle? You know what I mean? Other than in the games where not just you, but anybody, guys that didn't go to Alabama who did it every day, guys that are trying to make their way in the league, guys on special teams, guys playing second or third team. The tackling part of it is something that I think must be very, very difficult to practice, quite frankly, right?
Well, yeah, now when you go on live, it's pretty hard to practice tackling. But, I mean, you can do drills and individuals, the fundamentals of tackling. In practice, with us, we throw it up, so we just wrap up our offensive player, then let them go. So that just comes with having good balance and actually using your technique to help you tackle better when you get in the game. So you're not just running past the player, and that's going to cause mixed tackles in the game. You got to fit your feet up, fit the tackle up, keep your pads down. So just doing that every day, well, 2 times a day, a week. That's kind of like our way, practicing tackling.
I like to hear you talk about it. I mean, it's like There really is a science about this. It's not just see, hit, destroy, video game. I mean, this is what the coaches do with you guys. And when you miss a tackle in Jacksonville or in Wembley and you got to come back and watch it, the first thing the coach is going to say is, you didn't do A, B, C, D,
so
all the way through, right?
You're missing a bunch of tackles in the game, more than likely you're doing something wrong in practice. You either not running to the ball so you can, go tag off the offender, or you're not using the right fundamentals at practice, So it all correlates. It always correlates from the practice to the game.
You feel like you could be a coach at this point to some degree? I mean, you sort of talk about it in those terms.
I can be an assistant because I'm not going to talk a lot.
Understood, but if you had a bunch of kids, I could see you as being really, really good with kids at a camp in regard to that part of the science of how to do it.
Yeah, I can be a good drill coach.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, and this is not to pick on Mike Flynn, who's one of my dear friends. I've eaten crabs and crab cakes here. I would bring Flynn out when he was a player 15 years ago. Offensive line, center, guard, called out defenses, called Mike linebackers, identified stuff, won a Super Bowl. And when it came to talking about it, it wasn't easy for him to talk about. I don't think it's ever easy for offensive linemen. I've rarely, maybe Baldinger, Matt Burke, but a couple of guys that I've talked to that can really talk about the science of offensive line like a coach. I think sometimes players don't talk about it. I didn't hear Ray Lewis talk about it in those kinds of terms. I think Ed Reed does more. Like when I hear Ed talk, it sounds more like something a coach would say.
Yeah, he probably just want to give away his secrets.
But part of that is probably what makes you the player you are, right? Because physically, not much different. Speed, not much different. They're all strong. They're all your size. But really, there is an intellectual part of this and a film study part of this, and then the actual technique of actually doing it that is far more classroom study-oriented than it is I'm big and fast and strong, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. And it also comes down to, some guys can, see or feel or, look at different things, on the football field that other players just not, that good at. Some players can see a pulling guard a lot more natural and quicker than, another player or another linebacker. A defensive lineman can, hear a call or see, a certain way the offense is set up where he can anticipate what type of block he might get, and it might look like, oh, he just so instinctive made that great play, but really, he just football smart. He knew what kind of play was coming.
What are your indicators when you're there? What are you looking for when you're lining up?
Well, the first thing I always look at is the formation because, we got to set the close call to, to the passing strength or, to a certain receiver or like something like that. And then after that, it goes from the tight end to the lineman, then to the quarterback or running back. So I'm pretty much saying everything.
How fast do you see it now versus the first preseason game in the NFL when you came in 4 years ago?
As far as formations and just kind of knowing how the offense comes
But this
out, what I
happens
might
fast,
get.
man.
Yeah.
This is boom, boom. These are 4 reads I got to make within a second and a half, identify it, relay it.
And also knowing the defense helps out too. So once you hear the call, you're not even thinking about, all right, what's my job? You already know it, and now you just focus on the offense. So when you first come in, first you're hearing the call, then you're relaying the call, then you're like, all right, what I got? Then after you get that, now you're trying to figure out all these indicators. Then at the end of the day, you're still trying to think about what I do so I don't mess up since I'm a rookie.
But it also helps at this point in your career to have other quarterbacks out there. Because Weddle's as smart as you, and Suggs is smarter, and they've been doing it a lot longer than you've been doing. It's probably a lot more instinctive, right?
Players like that, we can adjust things on the fly on the field that that we haven't even been coached yet. Like we can see something, and I could just hear him in the back of my head saying, "I got this. You switch that," and boom, we just play like that. Even though it's not, even though it's not written up that way. So when you got players at each level, defensive line, linebackers, and DBs, that's smart like that. It doesn't just help the defense; it helps the room too, because they giving off that knowledge to their players too, and the individuals.
I'm gonna drink some water and let Luke talk to you.
Yeah, CJ, we've been talking about coaches a little bit. I wanted to get your thoughts about Zach Orr. He's in a unique position. Unfortunately forced into retirement, but he's been in the room with you guys. He's been shadowing Wink Martindale.
Right.
What's it been like seeing him make that transition? I know I saw him about 5 weeks ago in the building.
Yeah.
And the first thing he said to me was, Luke, I had no idea. We work hard as players. I had no idea just how many hours the coaches put in.
Oh, well, I knew that. That's why I probably want to be a coach. Like, we complain about our hours as players, and they, coaches, they still in there right now.
Right.
So I don't want none of those problems. But yeah, just having his presence, back in the room is fine, because he's went to the OTAs and training camp, without him being there. So at the end of the day, it's. Players come and go. That's just this is how it is. It's just unfortunate the way like his happened, but you kind of get used to seeing the people that you with in the room, and football is football, but like it's just fun having him back. Even though he's not playing, he already has that kind of coaching drive in him. Even with last year, he said once he's done, he's probably going to coach. I think his oldest brother, he coaches at his former high school.
Right.
So yeah, he already has that in his blood. So it's just natural for him. Especially just being a former player just a year ago,
right.
With the younger guys and the rookies, they can talk to him, he can talk to them, and kind of speak the same language, because he just went through this, and he still knows all the coverage, and even more now since he's definitely looking at other teams, and sometimes when we watching film as a unit, he'll tell me some tips that he might see. So now they got him doing presentations now, so he's a full-time coach. So it's just fun having him there.
Do you think he relates well to guys like Patrick Owasu, Bam Bradley? Undrafted guys. You were a first-round pick. You were on the map, so to speak.
Yeah, they still ask him questions like he's still playing. Right. So they'll just go out to the side like, yo, Zach, what you looking when you see this? So that's just one of the good things that having him in there. Sometimes you don't want to always ask the coach, because even though Coach Wing, he's a great coach.
Great.
Yeah. So we're not gonna be scared to ask him a question, but it's just always you definitely feel more comfortable talking to your peer or somebody you play with.
I know you're not thinking about it week to week as you're going through a season, but how has that transition been for you? You came into the league. Daryl Smith was here. Guy had been in the league for a decade. Then Zach, Daryl, then Zach started sharing time. Then Zach takes over. This year it's Correa and then Owasu. Have you kind of, when you look back, have you felt yourself taking more of that veteran role? Whereas the first year, not that you weren't a capable player, making the Pro Bowl as a rookie, but certainly you have more command of the room now than you would have 4 years ago.
Yeah, I feel it more so this year than the past 2 years. One, because I just feel I'm pretty much 100% comfortable with just me knowing the defense, and now when when Patrick or Peanut, when all of them kind of asking those football questions, it's it just clicks to me. I can just explain to them, and sometimes I'm like, wow, I didn't know I can really explain it that way. And for me, one of the best things I've seen. It's just the way I can read pass coverages now. Because when I was a rookie, that's how Daryl, Buck used to read his coverages, and I was the one he can just naturally, you know, float to passes. And I was telling the young guys, you know, that's gonna come with time. Like once you're in the league a couple years, you kind of figure out route concepts, you know, different type of formations, what things you might get. So just be able to see those things, you know, pre-play, like just help my games out a lot, and I can help the guy next to me out too, because I can kind of, you know, give them tips and let them know what I'm seeing so they can better their game.
What do you like about Patrick Owasso? I mean, the Ravens, I mean, everyone thinks of you, obviously, Ray Lewis, first-round pick, but there's quite a tradition here, Zach Orr being one of them, of those undrafted guys. They cut their teeth a year or two on special teams.
Bart.
What do you
that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah. What do you like about Patrick Owasso?
He definitely reminds you of Bart Scott. Yeah. You know, just when he's coming to hit you, he's coming with power.
Right.
You know, undrafted, you know, have to take the long way here. Learning every day, trying to become a better linebacker. But you know, when he's in there, you definitely gonna feel his presence. So that's one thing I love about it. He's a playmaker, and you saw that in the preseason.
Sure.
And that's pretty much what got him to where he is now. You know, he made plays and he was productive while he was in.
Yeah, I remember I asked you about it during training camp when he and Correa were competing, and they're still competing, but you smiled right away, and you mentioned his physicality. And I can remember the first day of training camp last year when he was coming in as a rookie and probably a little overzealous, but I think he knocked Juszczyk on his butt. And I don't think Kyle liked it too much. Yeah. But just that physicality with him really.
Just even last week when we was in pass, you know, for that one practice in the bye week, you know, he was thudding up linemen, you know, running down there, punching the ball out. So, like, when he's punching the ball out, like he's really about to punch somebody. So, I mean, they're just, you know, you just love that as far as a defensive player and as a linebacker.
I mean, is that something you like when you have a young player who's still learning the defense, still establishing himself in this league, but that physicality, I mean, that dog in you that Ray Lewis
because you got to have it. You can't be, you know, hesitant to go make a play, and that's one thing he's definitely not hesitant to go, you know, shoot a gap. Like, he'll ask me or ask the coach, like if we in this, or if I see this certain type of play, it's all right if I shoot it. Like, he might ask, but, you know, that's a good thing to know in the back of his head. He wants to be aggressive.
Sure.
So, you know, just the older he gets, you know, the more time he plays, you know, it's just going to be even better for him.
You say you're now comfortable with the defense. You talk about Daryl and, you know, sort of mentoring you, and, you know, I mean, you had these shoes to fill with Ray Lewis. Whether you know that instinctively, but you don't really know that because you weren't around when he was around, right? But what do you love about the defense this far in? I mean, you've had to learn this defense, Dean's way, Wink's way, the way it's only been one way for you, where, you know, Flacco's been here a decade now, has had 3 or 4 different coordinators, different, different schemes, different running backs, different blocking techniques. You've been in a system that hasn't changed much, right? I mean, literally, same terminology, same techniques, same roles throughout the defense. What do you love about this defense?
I like the way we can game plan for anything. Like, we can show one hand one week and the next week have a whole nother defense ready for the same type of offense. Like, we can never. I mean, you know, we can get game plan, but offense never really know what we can bring as far as blitzes, as far as coverage, and, you know, with Weddle coming to us.
Well, that's part of having veterans, right?
Yeah, literally. The way he disguises, that just makes it perfect. That just sets up everybody. So, I feel like the leadership and, like, the family type of orient that we have on our defense. Like, I feel like this year this has been, like, the closest the whole defense has been a part of, you know, since everybody's been here. You know, everybody pretty much play with each other at least 1 year, if not 2. And after that, you know, you just got guys that want to win. So I just love playing for people like that.
You say family, and then you bring Marlon in here, right? I mean, you never have to worry about getting more Bama guys here as long as Ozzy's running this place.
Yeah.
He's having a hell of a rookie year, right? I mean, I would put it sort of on par with, you know, where you were in saying, I wonder what he's going to be 2 or 3 years from now, because there are guys that come in and struggle. I mean, I don't need to tell you who they are. I mean, you've seen it around you. It's not easy having that I'm a first-round guy and it's just going to be easy for me. Especially out on an island. It's not easy out there.
Yeah, it's not at all. No, he's done a great job. You know, it's coming in when Jimmy went down or when he's been hurt. Even in practice, you know, he's out there running full speed, you know, trying to make plays. You know, everybody's going to have their mistakes here and there. So, I mean, he definitely had his. But, yeah, for the most part, he's been a lockdown corner at the end of the day, I mean, as far as stats go. So, you know, just got to make sure that, you know, he stays focused because, you know, like you said, it's getting ready for Auburn week in 2 weeks now. So, yeah, he'll be getting ready for his little SEC game. But we still got 2 months of some hard-nosed football.
We'll get his hair dyed red. CJ Mosley joining us out here with Costas in. We are in Dundalk, North Point, Sparrows Point, somewhere on the east side, Never Patapsco. Luke is joining us. We're swabbing for the Bone Marrow Registry, and we're having some fun eating some crab cakes. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.